All right, welcome to my garage. This is where we're going to do our next little science experiment, and we're going to be looking at a bicycle and how gears are used in a bicycle to make work a little easier. So, um, got my bike down. I'm going to be filming a little bit on the Chromebook here, and also I'm going to use my phone to film a little bit, and hopefully that allows us to see what we're up to. This is the page we're looking at. It's called Experimenting with Bicycles. And we're just going to go through the experiment and make our observations. And hopefully, you can get a chance to watch this video and you can make your observations. So, first thing I want to do is get my bike and turn it upside down. Let's step out of the way here. And you can see I've done that. I'm going to bring it closer to the camera. And then it wants me to use a piece of chalk or a piece of tape because you can do this with your bike too. If you have one and if it has gears. And it wants me to make a mark that I'm going to use as a reference around on the back tire. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Don't really want to put this chalk in my mouth. All right. Let's see if I can get it where you can see the gear system. Perfect. Right there. Okay. And I'm going to use my chalk to make a mark on my tire. Doesn't matter where I do this because I can always move it and put it in a better position. So let's make a chalk the size of one of my spokes here. Can always wipe that off after. But then you can see that. Perfect. And that's all I need the chalk for. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my bike in low gear. So when the bike is in low gear, these are my gear systems. The front gear, which is up here, will be on the smallest sprocket. So the smallest cog or sprocket. And the back gear will be on the largest sprocket. So I'm going to do a little pedaling and clicking with my gears up on the handlebars. So let's see if I can figure that out. I'm not sure, I might need 3 hands to do this, but I want to show you the gear moving, or the chain moving on the system. So I want to move my gear to the smallest sprocket. And right now you can see it's on the middle. So that would be the largest. There's the middle and there's the smallest. So as I turn my pedals, I'm just going to, and you can hopefully see it click in there. That's kind of cool. Okay, now I'm just going to come around and make sure that the back one is on the largest sprocket. So this is my back gear system. You can see there's more gears, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this bike has 8 gears on the back and 3 on the front, so 3 times 8. So it's a 24-speed bike. And if I turn my pedals, I should be able to move it by changing the gears, and I want to get it on the largest sprocket. So let's see if I can figure all that out with one hand. Good, we're moving in the right direction. Nice. And one more. You can see when I push the button, this little lever moves over just a bit. And then when I pedal, it clips in. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to So now what I want to do is I want to turn the pedals one complete turn and then keep an eye on my chalked piece of tire so that I can see what happens. And I think I'm thinking about how many times it goes around. So my pedal is starting here. So when I turn it, I'm going to bring it all the way around so it's back to there. And I'm just going to do it with kind of a normal speed. Remember, I want to keep my tire where I can see the chalk mark right at the top. Okay. And I want to do this at a normal speed so that when I do it the second time, it is kind of the same amount of force that I'm applying. Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 2. Let's call it 2 1/4. We'll round it to the nearest quarter. Okay, so that's what I would write in that chart, number of times the wheel turns. So now I'm just going to set up my bike so that the gears are in the highest gear, which means this front gear, we're going to be all the way up to the biggest sprocket, and this back gear, we're going to be all the way down to the smallest sprocket. And I'm going to do this a little quicker than last time. You don't want to be too quick because you don't want your chain to slip off your gear system. Take your time. Okay, that's that side. And there we go, that's the middle. And that's up into that high gear. Okay, so let's run our experiment again. Watching that white mark, we're going to run our experiment, this time in high gear. 1 full turn of the pedals. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. Whoa, that was cool. So when I turned it that full time in the highest gear, I could feel it. First of all, let me tell you, it was much harder to turn, way harder to turn. But look at how fast it propelled the bike. So what does that make us think of it? Well, when we're riding a bike and we're in high gear, we know that if we can pedal fast in that toughest gear, we're going to go fast. But it's also really makes it a lot harder to ride your bike. So maybe you want to do that if you're on a straightaway or going down a hill and you got a need for speed. But if you are trying to go up a hill and you find your riding is difficult, you might want to make the bike riding easier for you, knowing that it's going to slow you down a little bit in terms of the amount of power you have with the bike. But it may be a smart move so that you can make it up a hill without getting off and walking, which is probably what I would have done when I was your age. Probably didn't have a bike like this. Anyways, thanks for watching. Now I've got some editing to do and cut it all together.